Hi, I'm Suzy Badaracco, President of Culinary Tides. We're a fractional foresights and trends intelligence team for the food and beverage and neighboring industries. This presentation is a condensed version of the full session I delivered at the IDDBA conference that was held in May of 2025. In this shortened format, I'll walk you through the key insights and takeaways we covered so you can quickly get up to speed on the trends that matter the most. If you'd like access to the full deck, there'll be a QR code at the end of the presentation where you can request a copy. If you want to learn more, feel free to reach out so we can keep the conversation going. And so let's begin with Global Mornings, infusing international flavors into breakfast bakery selections. So first question, of course, we need to answer is why add international flavors to breakfast? And there's several reasons. So first, you want to give the consumers a way to travel through taste, right? So kind of a passport on the plate. So international flavors offer that sensory escape and satisfies kind of wanderlust through familiar formats like muffins, croissants, and scones. Another reason is discovery and delight. So you're tapping into the thrill of something new. So consumers do crave novel experiences. So introducing like flavors like miso, cardamom, guava creates a sense of a buzz and then also re-engages curious shoppers. Three would be a health halo of global ingredients. Whether it's deserved or not, but global flavors often come with a wellness story. So think turmeric from India, matcha from Japan, whole grains from Norway, and the other Nordic regions. These ingredients carry both cultural and functional appeal. Number four is the rise of global breakfast awareness, right? So consumers are expanding their morning palettes from conscious to mochi donuts. These global breakfast items are becoming kind of part of the mainstream conversation, and honestly, they're expecting it. And the last is elevated perceived value. So exotic in their minds equals premium. So international ingredients can elevate the perceived quality and uniqueness of the products, allowing you to put a premium price on it. So let's look at bakery breakfasts. A trend can have allies just like you or I can, or a corporation can have allies or adversaries. A trend can have them as well. So let's look at in bakery, some of the breakfast allies you have. So we're going to look at fresh fruit, vegetables, cheeses, grains, and then global spices. So why is this occurring? So fresh fruit, what you're doing is you're adding a natural sweetness, color, vitamins, antioxidants, and fiber. With vegetables, you have the opportunity to introduce more savory elements, so enhancing nutrient density, offering kind of an innovative twist. With cheeses, it really elevates the baked goods with creamy textures, rich flavors, but you're also providing protein and calcium. And then whole grains and seeds, you're adding texture, fiber, boosting the nutrient content, and also appealing directly to the health-conscious consumers. And the last with seasonings and condiments, you're adding that global twist, introducing unique flavor profiles and creating kind of a sensory adventure for the consumer. So we came up with 5 different ideas for different countries to show you how bakery can enter the global space for breakfast. I'm going to show you 2 of the 5. The full deck has all 5. This is number 4. So we're going to look at the Middle East, Lebanon, Turkey, etc. And why are they interested? So earthy spices, savory profiles like za'atar, sesame. They often have flatbreads, handheld options, so they're very portable. They are often seen as wholesome, clean label. And you get the chance to use some of the ancient grains. It's also expanding curiosity about Levantine cuisine that's coming up. So some of the examples of the breakfast bakery items, manakish, which is flatbread topped with za'atar or cheese, simit, which is sesame encrusted ring bread. It's also called a Turkish bagel. Another idea is just some of the pita breads, which are very familiar, served warm, could be eggs, hummus, cheeses. And I'm going to share number 5 from Norway. So I wanted to pick 2 that are a little bit off the beaten path. From the Nordic regions, it could be Sweden, Denmark, Finland. So why are they interested? Seen as minimalistic and wholesome. Also strong association with cozy cafe culture called fika. And use of the hearty grains and warm spices. Also, balanced indulgence, these tend to be less sweet, more flavorful. And Scandinavian design, food aesthetics are absolutely trending. So some of the examples, so cardamom bun, so a twisted roll with cardamom sugar. Rugbrød is a dense rye bread with seeds and grains. And then skulebrød is soft bun filled with custard topped with coconut glaze. I'm going to introduce you to affinity scales if you haven't seen these before. So this is going to be a simple looking diagram, but it has really a lot of impact. Also, all of our diagrams are living, breathing systems, so this changes over time. So if you're on the high end of an affinity scale, it just means through a consumer's eyes, these are easy to understand, easy to access, very approachable, familiar, affordable, etc. If it's on the low end, it doesn't mean it's bad. It just means it might be a little more difficult to understand because it might be a newer kid on the block. Might be hard to get a hold of these items or higher cost even. So there's several reasons something could be low. So on the high end, we're going to look at some of the formats that are here for breakfast. So absolutely charcuterie has moved into breakfast. So some of the breakfast boards. Pancakes, but again, global. So sourdough, Japanese souffle, high protein, of course. So some of the international meats, seafood, grains, international yogurts. Also gut friendly, like kimchi and sourdough, Icelandic yogurts fit here as well. A little bit lower is some of the cereal customizations. So think cereal cafes. Cottage cheese, yes, fits in here. Some of the global handhelds like curry toast, breakfast bao, onigiri. And then some of the non-traditional like savory pancakes, breakfast pastas, and some of the fusion items. So you really just need to know who your audience is. If you have a conservative audience, you want to play on the high side. If you have more of an experimental audience, you want to kind of play on the low side to get some more unique items in there. So we're also going to look at some of the bakery allies with dairy. So for bakery breakfast, what are your dairy allies? And we're going to look at all six, all five. First one is going to be Greek yogurt. Appeals to well-minded consumers, versatile usage, works obviously across day parts and all different menu types. When you're looking at cream cheese, now you've got classic appeal with room for innovation though, right? Because it's kind of a blank slate. So it's already beloved in many breakfast items, supports indulgence, and definitely better for you options. With cultured butter, a little bit newer kid on the block, adds artisanal flair, lots of flavor, enhances existing bakery without major reformulations. And of course, it's perfect for grab and go. And some of the cheeses also, so balanced, sweet, heavy menus that often are breakfast. Familiar cheeses elevate hearty formats and definitely appeals to the savory breakfast lovers. And last is ricotta in particular. So flexible because for global inspirations is really found around the globe, all different cultures. So it adds that decadence without being super heavy, but also is wholesome, fresh perception. Now, bakery, let's look at some of your allies that you can find in Delhi. First one's going to be smoked and cured meats. So savory balance to that sweet leaning breakfast menus. Adds satiety, fuels power, kind of a power breakfast trend. Definitely grab and go sandwich formats. If you're looking at pickled or marinated vegetables, now you're going to be adding acidity and brightness to again balance those richer bakery items, and perfectly aligns with some of the global flavor trends, and definitely great for vegetarian breakfast items and options. Egg dishes, so elevates the bakery items into complete meals because now you're adding, more protein. So it's nutrient dense. It also pairs with the breakfast sandwiches or small plates. When you're looking at some of the cheeses, again, coming from Delhi, you've enhanced the flavor complexity and indulgence, right? So the familiar item that supports a little more premium product. And looking at into the seafood area. So you're elevating the breakfast item with premium, so kind of brunch-worthy flair. It's really popular with consumers seeking functional fats and again, those elevated cafe options. Now let's look how to navigate the future. Final thoughts. Global flavors transform breakfast into a journey. International ingredients offer psychological escape, discovery, and also premium value. Financial stress is rewriting breakfast behavior where more meals are eaten at home. So bakery items must be affordable, flexible, and multifunctional. And then also cultural authenticity plus health drivers. It's kind of this winning combination. So consumers want foods that are both globally inspired, but nutritionally meaningful. And from us, know the birth and life cycle of a trend prior to deciding to recommend it or enter it, so you can predict how to navigate it, because we do not want you flying blind. And spend more time researching a trend's longevity and trajectory than worrying about what your competitors are doing. After all, they may be idiots. And here is that QR code I promised you. So that's a wrap. Thanks so much for watching. If you'd like a copy of the full version of the presentation, just scan the QR code on the screen. It'll take you to a quick request form. And if you have any questions or just want to chat more about what we covered, feel free to reach out using any of the contact information here. I would love to connect. Thanks so much.